woo! And you know why I actually said woo right there? It's because this is the first episode of season 2. We have finally made it to the second season, and we have not given up yet. That is a first. I mean, isn't that incredible?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that is great. Yes. But, you know, I'm questioning something. What are we really going to call ourselves? Like, what would be like our dynamic duo for this podcast? Instead of just Nikki and Ricky. Because that's just really... It's so generic.
It's so our names.
Yeah, but what could be a really cool name, a really unique name for a dynamic duo like us?
You know what? I think I've got an idea. How about the Sand Siblings?
Wait, Samson?
Yeah.
Sand Siblings?
Yeah, we're taking with a grain of sand. We're siblings. Sand Siblings.
Where did that even come from?
I don't know. I just came up with it. Sand Siblings. Let's call us that.
Okay, fine. We're Sand Siblings.
Alright. Well, everyone, welcome to episode 11, the first episode of season 2 of the Take It With a Grain of Sand podcast. We are your Sand Siblings, Mickey P.
And Ricky P.
And we are here for this episode. And there's something I gotta mention right up top. Here's something I learned like a couple weeks ago. Kim Kardashian has a podcast right now.
Oh, what?
She's got a podcast about her journeys as a new lawyer getting people off of death row. Innocent people that have been sentenced to death. She helps get them off of death row. And that's her podcast. I think we've got some new competition in the podcast game. This is just the intro, Ricky. We've got to get into the show. What are the segments for today?
You know what? I'm not even going to introduce the segments. These are all going to be completely new segments. Something that you've never really seen in season 1. We're going to be trying some new things, and hopefully they stick well enough. Or, you know, well, for us anyways to talk about it.
How about you talk it up, Ricky B? These are great segments. It's hilarious. We get into some great discussions, and we hope you guys like it. And make sure you like and subscribe and tell everyone you know about Take It With a Grain of Sand.
Yes. Okay, this intro has gone on long enough. Without further ado, let's get on to the first segment.
For this segment, we're going to do a little discussion, as we typically do, about some type of topic that is bothering us or we think is funny. For today's discussion, Ricky and I are going to talk about PS5s. Y'all know PS5s, right? The latest, the next gen PlayStation console. What can we tell them?
The PS5 was released probably near the latter half of 2020. Mm-hmm. So relatively 2 years ago.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's fairly new, but at the same time, it's not as recent as 2022.
Yeah, it's not that new anymore. Let's talk about what we think of the PS5 in general. I have some thoughts as a gamer. We're both gamers, right? And my console of choice is the PS4. I got myself a PS4 with my after-school job money when I was 17, and I still have it. It was like $200. Let me tell y'all, it was like $200. I got it refurbished in like 2016. And it still works. I still use it all the time. It's a great console. But now there's new games coming out that aren't being released on the PS4 anymore. They're only going to the newer PlayStation, the PS5. And that's to be expected, right? The PS5 has been out for a while. At first they released games on both, but then they start to switch over. That's what all the gaming companies do. And that's not a problem because the PS5 is a great console. I've seen some great reviews. I really love the new controller. It's got a nice shape. Honestly, it looks like an Xbox controller, but we'll table that. It just kind of looks like an Xbox controller. But let's talk about what the actual console looks like because it's so funny.
Oh yeah. I have a picture of it pulled up right now.
So there's two versions of the PS5. You can get one with the game slot, like you can put the physical disc in, and you can get it without, which is cheaper. And that's an option because, a lot of people just download the games online anyway. They just download them from the PlayStation Store. So they don't even need a physical game slot. So, yeah, so you get these two options. You can pay more and get the game slot. But how about what this thing looks like? Ricky, this thing is so funny looking. I know that this is a dead meme at this point. But the PlayStation 5 looks like if you took like an old-fashioned internet modem, the ones with like the antennas and stuff on
Yeah.
and you put a binder on it. The PlayStation 5 looks like a white binder that you took to school. It's a funny looking thing. It's really big too. If you compared it to what the size of the PS4, it's like big. And it's so funny looking. But how about we get into the meat and potatoes of why we're really having this discussion? It's the prices.
Yes. They're ridiculous.
The prices. This thing is now 2 years old, and let's back up. When they first came out in 2020, listen, Sony knew what they were doing. They released it at a time where everybody was inside and they wanted to play video games. And they sold out like that. I think that they shortened that supply on purpose. And they wanted them to sell out. This was all like a marketing plan to release it at that time when it had been anticipated for a long time. It's been anticipated years before that. They chose to release it during the pandemic lockdown, and they shortened the supply, and they sold out so quick. And then they released some more. They sold out, and now to get one, the prices are insane. If you didn't get one of the first wave PS5s, let's look and see what the prices are currently for a brand new PS5. What do you see?
Okay. I have it pulled up right now. And
I'm seeing them sold from QVC a lot.
Yeah, and that cost like $1,000.
They're all $1,000 from QVC.
Yes.
It's insane. I'm seeing this one says $1,089. Although this one comes with a game.
Yeah, even with it's not a game, which I'm actually see the digital version, which is the cheaper one. The cheapest one for a digital version is like $700 from Walmart.
I don't even see that. I see the cheapest one I see is from QVC from $9.49 without the game slot. Oh, I see $700 from Walmart. No game slot. It doesn't come with any games. $700
Yes.
to get nothing. This is crazy. Why are they so expensive, Ricky?
I think
What
it's
is
because
so
they're just really
special?
rare.
Is that what's so special? Is that because Sony short short supplied them?
That could be the case.
Because I just don't understand what's so special about this PlayStation that it's going this crazy. Or this game console in general. Like, we haven't seen this type of frantic mania over a game console, I don't think, ever. Like,
Yeah,
no
not in
one's
our
gonna
lifetime.
not like this. No one's acted like this over any PlayStation, over any Xbox, any Nintendo console.
I
This
mean,
is like
I,
crazy.
actually, you know what? As a matter of fact, in the mix of the search, there's like a PS5. No, like in the mix of the PS5s, there's an Xbox Series X. Guess what the price is for this?
How much? 500? 600?
No, no, no. The price is actually $288.
Two?
Yeah, $288.
Wow. We could cop that right now. But who wants that? It's all about the PS5.
No one wants Xbox.
I mean, some people like Xbox, some people prefer Xbox, but like, things are going crazy for the PS5. And I
Exactly.
just don't get why. Like, what is so special about the
Um.
PS5 over anything else? Like, I remember like when the PS4 and the Xbox One came out about the same time. It was Christmas time in like 2013, I think.
Yeah.
And I remember like, it wasn't like this, but it was kind of crazy because all the teens were asking their parents for an Xbox or a PlayStation that Christmas. And parents were flocking out to the all the Best Buys and the Walmarts and the GameStops all around the country trying to get their and I think that there was a little bit of a shortage with that because everyone wanted one or the other. And that was like kind of crazy, but like this, like the prices didn't rise from that. You could still get either console for the regular retail price.
Oh, right.
So
And
I don't understand.
yeah, I don't really understand how the prices haven't lowered at this point.
That's the other crazy thing. It's been 2 years. It's not even new anymore.
Yeah.
Well, what are we doing, folks? We gotta get these prices lowered so that I can get a PS5.
Oh.
How about y'all out there? Comment if you want a PS5. Do you have a PS5? Can I play it?
Oh yeah, yes. Send it to your PO box.
We don't have a P.O. box. We
Well,
gotta
you don't
get a
have a PO
P.O. box.
box?
You don't
Okay,
have a
well,
P.O. box.
Oh, I thought I had one.
No.
I thought you had one.
No.
Well, we need to get PO boxes.
Yeah, someone. Honestly, if you message me, you could just send it to my home address. And that would be great if you want to send me a PS5. I would be forever grateful. Um, And yeah, I think that's it for our discussion about the PS5.
All right. For today's segment, Mickey P is going to tell not only me but you, the audience, of the show that involves the Kardashians. I already forgot the name.
It's
What's the
called
name?
The Kardashians.
Okay, so it's just the Kardashians.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, I'm kind of familiar with the show. I only watched like one episode, but I don't really know the show that much, and I don't know. It's just not really a show for me. But not here to judge. I want to know what the show's about, so maybe I might like it. So, Vicky, what is the show like?
Well, this is their Hulu original show, and I just love it. So, season 1, we've got Kim. It trails her story of becoming a lawyer, passing the bar. That talks about when she was on SNL. It talks about how she helped get an innocent man off of death row. It's it was quite a wild ride for the first few episodes. I mean, she saved a life. And then there's a lot about, Travis Barker.
Yes.
So him and Courtney's relationship. There's a lot about that. It shows Kim's private jet in season 1. It's crazy. She's got her own private jet. She calls it Kim Air. And it's really
Um.
nice. And then there's the issues with Courtney. Courtney's now ex-boyfriend from the NBA. What is his name? His name is Tristan something.
Tristan Thompson.
Tristan Thompson, yeah. So they were together years ago. They've got a daughter together. This was some juicy drama with them. So they have a daughter together, and then he cheated on her, but and that was very damaging. But she saw him doing the work. He made it seem like he wanted to get back together. They're co-parenting, and he's been going to therapy on his own. They've been going to couples therapy. He's been saying all of these things that just made it seem like they were on the right track to be getting back together. And then the beginning of season 2 is when the end of the cliffhanger on season 1 with that was that then there was like this whole Kim found these headlines all of a sudden about how Tristan cheated on Chloe and got someone pregnant. So there's someone else pregnant, and she was just saying how she wanted another baby. She wanted a baby boy with him. And now he went and got someone else pregnant, and there's like this whole court situation. And then that was the cliffhanger, is that we don't really get very much of Chloe's reaction to hearing this news from Kim. She was like, "Did you know?" And Chloe was like, "I had no idea. This is all news to me. Oh, take me off of speaker." And that was the end of season 1. There's more to the story that we didn't get, but now we've got season 2, and in the first episode of season 2, they lay it all out. What was this information that Chloe wanted to tell Kim in private off the cameras? How about you guess, Ricky? What would make this even
Um.
worse?
The uh. No, I can't think of anything.
You can't think of what would make this worse. This is a terrible situation. There's only one thing that can make it
Yeah.
even worse. Tristan went.
What?
He's having a baby with someone else. Right after she said that it was, Chloe. I can't keep her name straight. Chloe threw Tristan a birthday party. Okay.
Okay.
And then she went home, and wherever he was, that's where he found this woman. Now, what could make this situation even worse? As if it's not bad enough that he cheated on her and got someone else pregnant. And then he didn't even tell her that it happened. She's finding out from Kim, who found out from the internet. Now, that's all terrible. But there's something that could make this even worse. What do you think, Ricky?
What? I don't know. I don't know what can make it worse.
They were gonna have another baby. They just went to the doctor, and they got an embryo from the two of them, and they put it into someone else, a surrogate. They've already got a surrogate pregnant with their child.
Oh, well.
And now, and then it was like earlier that week, like a few days before then, she finds out that he got someone else pregnant. Juicy drama. They're calling Tristan Trashton. Tristan is now Trashton. Because he's kind of trash. I mean, you listening to this? He's awful.
Yeah, I'm listening.
He knew this whole time, and he didn't tell her, and he went through with going to the doctor to impregnate a surrogate, knowing fully well this whole time, through this whole process, that someone else was pregnant with his baby, and Chloe didn't know.
Well, of course he was not going to tell them.
Trashed him.
I mean, why would he tell?
Ricky, whose side are you on? You're on Tristan's side?
I'm not. No, I am not.
You're defending
I'm just saying.
him.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying. It's like, if you're caught doing some incriminating stuff like that, I wouldn't think you actually have the heart to tell.
Well, yeah, but he should have said something to her. Like, she was gonna find out eventually. He should have had the information come from him. She should not have had to hear it from her sister, who found out from the internet.
Well,
he should have directly told her exactly what was going on and exactly what he did. But then we get some more lighthearted stuff. So that first episode, they shot that, and then it's like the season's out of order. They wanted to get this information out first, so they put this as the first episode, but that's not the chronological order. Then they say on the second episode, okay, now what we shot here was like 6 months or whatever before everything from last week's episode. It's like all out of order. But then Kylie has her second baby, with Travis Scott. And Chloe's planning her wedding with Travis. And there was this really funny episode where it's... Okay, so what you need to know is that Chris, the mom, and Chloe, their houses are right next door to each other. And they really like that, the two of them. They're mother-daughter, they live next door, it's cute. They go to each other's houses all the time. And Chris, as a loving mother, decides she should get her daughter a housewarming gift. That's normal, right? That's what you do.
Yeah.
She decides that this gift should be a peacock, a live peacock. And she explains that this is because years ago, Chloe had a peacock that she just loved. And she doesn't explain what happened to it. I'm assuming she had to give it up. Like, that's kind of what's implied. And, but she just loves peacocks and she would just love to have another one. So here, then we get a guest star on the show. Martha Stewart. Apparently Martha Stewart, I don't know a whole lot about Martha Stewart, but apparently she loves exotic birds and she knows a guy that Chris can contact to get a peacock for Chloe. So then we're at this peacock farm. There's peacocks everywhere. They're talking to the guy. Chloe gets a peacock, she picks it up, and then she gets scared and it flies away. As she's holding it, the thing just flies away. She apologized so many times. She lost the bird. It flew outside of the fence, and Chris was doing like a caw kind of thing. Chris was trying to get it back. She was trying to lure it back with her own bird calls. And Chloe just kept apologizing. She's like, I can't believe that happened. I'm so sorry. I can't believe I lost your bird. She was so embarrassed. And it was just awful. And then she pulls Chris aside and she's like, What are we doing? Why are you getting me a peacock? Why do you think I want a peacock? And she was like, Chloe, you had a peacock. You loved that peacock. And she was like, I didn't. I did not have a peacock. And Chris is like, but there was a peacock on your property. That means that's your peacock. And she was like, no, that was not my peacock. That was, I didn't buy it. I didn't pick that out. I didn't feed it. It was just a wild peacock that flew into my yard sometimes. It would come in, hang out for a little bit, and then fly away. I was so dead when she said that, because that changes everything, right? Like, Chris made it seem like Chloe just loves peacocks, and that this peacock meant so much to her. It wasn't. It was just a bird that flew into her yard and then left. That was it. It wasn't her. It wasn't even her peacock. That's like saying, I love crows because crows fly into my yard all the time. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Or I love squirrels because squirrels climb up my apartment all the time. Like, that's not even the case. And, that was just such a funny turn of events. And also, Chris didn't consider that now Chloe has a daughter who would be deathly afraid of this peacock, right?
Yes.
She probably would be scared. Like, back then, she didn't even have a daughter. And it was just a wild peacock that flew in anyway. She didn't buy it. And she didn't have a child. So, like, Chris didn't really think this through. And Chloe was like, you didn't even... You know I didn't really want a peacock. You just wanted to hang out with Martha Stewart. And that was just a funny turn of events. It was really funny. And then in the latest episode, the one that came out last week, so we're recording this on Monday the 7th. So this week's episode comes out on Thursday. So I haven't seen it yet. I know by the time this podcast comes out, that'll be out, but that's not out yet. Okay, so I'm just going to talk about season 2, episode 7, so that we're all caught up. And then we'll go from there. So in this episode, they talk a lot about the Met Gala, which we know that was months ago. But this is where they were, so this year's Met Gala, all of the Kardashians were invited. Kris, Kim, Kourtney, Khloe, Kylie, and Kendall were all 7 of them were invited to the Met Gala. And in this episode, they were all kind of talking about what they were going to wear. And Kim was talking about how she really wanted to wear the original dress that Marilyn Monroe wore when she sang Happy Birthday to President Kennedy. And this was really important to her that she got to wear this dress. And at the end of the episode, it looks like it's not going to work because she can't fit in it. And it was sad. She put on the replica fit, but then she put on the real dress and she couldn't get it over her hips. And I was like, oh. No. But what I know from real life, since this happened months ago, is that she ended up wearing the Marilyn dress for a minute. She took a picture in it, and then she took it off, and she put the replica on. So it wasn't all sad. She was acting like she wasn't even going to go in the episode. She was saying how, like, I'm just going to stay in my house in my Skims that night. In my Skims pajamas. I'm not even going to, if I can't get this dress, I'm not even going to go. Which is, like, ridiculous. Like, she can just wear something else. Like, she's got her heart so set on this one dress. Like, she can buy any dress in the world. Any designer, anything. She can wear whatever she wants. But her heart is so set on this dress. It's like this or nothing.
It makes sense.
It does not make sense. She should still go. She could wear anything.
No, she wants to wear that.
I get that, but if that doesn't work, she could still go to the event. Last year she wore, did you see her outfit? It was crazy.
No.
Ricky, she wore all black and, like, I can't remember if it was, like, Gucci. I don't remember what designer it was. She wore this, like, huge black thing over her face, too.
Oh.
There was, like, a whole face mask. There wasn't even eyes cutouts or mouth cutouts or anything. It was like a ski mask with no cutouts. It went all the way over her face. Her whole body was covered, and it was just all black. But you knew it was her because of the shape of her body. And I think what people were saying was that her statement was that you'll recognize her even without her face because of her body.
Okay.
It was like just a crazy statement. She was like, how am I going to top that? I gotta wear the Marilyn Monroe dress. So I get it, but, like, she could still go. And then, what is her name? Kylie, the youngest, she was saying how, because I saw her outfit, what she wore to the Met Gala-ish, and she had a wonderful backstory for why she was wearing what she was wearing. The designer of this dress had passed. It was a good friend of hers. He was a designer for Kanye too, and so she knew him really well, and he passed, and she wanted to wear one of his pieces. The problem was that it didn't really look very good. It was like a wedding dress for some reason. It was this all white gown, and it kind of had a little bit of a poof to it. It just looked like a wedding dress, and then she was wearing a snapback with it. She wore a snapback backwards with the wedding dress to the Met Gala.
Yeah.
It was such a weird look. I didn't understand it. It was such a weird look. But yeah, so that's pretty much that whole episode, was them all deciding and trying on stuff for whatever they were going to wear for the Met Gala. And Courtney was planning her wedding with Travis. They flew to Milan, which is insane. They flew to Milan not for the wedding, but to get the clothes they're going to wear to the wedding. They flew to Milan. I don't even know they were on a private jet, but I wonder whose private jet it was. 'Cause I know Kylie also has a private jet. Maybe Travis has a private jet? Or Courtney? One of the two has their own. And then on top of that, so they flew to Milan to try on clothes at this particular designer. And meanwhile, like the other sisters and Chris couldn't go. They wanted to go to this fitting, but they couldn't because they're all being sued. Did you know that, Ricky?
No, I didn't.
Chris, Kim, Chloe, Kylie, and not Courtney. I don't remember who. Chris, Chloe, Kim, Kylie, and I think that might be it. Maybe just the four of them are being sued by Black China right now. Well, this already happened. I don't know what the turnout of that was, but in this part of the show, they're being sued by Black China. You know anything about this?
No, I didn't.
Do you know who Black China is?
No.
I don't fully know either. I think she's a singer or a rapper or something. She kind of looks like Cardi B.
I never heard of the name before.
So she was with Robert Kardashian. Rob is what they call him. The only son of the family. And they have a child together. And they had their own reality show called something like Rob in China or something like that. And it only ran for one season. I never saw it. I don't know anything about the show. But it only ran for one season. And Black China is suing the Kardashians because she says that she's suing them for defamation of character. She's saying that it's their fault that her show didn't get renewed. How crazy is that?
It could just be that no one was watching it.
That's what I think. But Chloe was saying how the reason why is because, one, they're not together anymore. They weren't together after season 1. They broke up. 2, Blac Chyna has a restraining order against Rob. They literally physically can't be in the same room together. That's what Chloe was saying. They can't even make a show together anymore because they can't even be in the same room. So how can it be our fault that they don't have a season 2?
I don't know.
It's ridiculous. And she's suing them. Guess for how much money?
Okay, 10,000.
Oh, way more.
What, 100,000?
Okay, listen to me. Listen to me carefully.
Okay.
Blac Chyna is suing the Kardashians for $100 million.
Whoa.
100 million. Isn't that insane?
Yes, it is.
And the end of the episode, the cliffhanger was that they don't know what happened. Like, they've now been to court while Courtney and Travis were in Milan. The rest of them were in court. They've pled their case. They've talked to their lawyers and pled their case. And at the end of the episode, it's like, all right, well, now we're just waiting to hear back from the jury. We don't know.
Oh.
And hopefully they don't get it, because that's insane to sue someone for that kind of money.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess that's it for our little Kardashian segment. That's all we've got. We're all kept up now. I'm saying kept up with the shows. That's their old show. It's called Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Their new show is just called The Kardashians. But now we are keeping up, though. So now we're caught up, and I think in the next installment of our podcast, we can dive into whatever happens in this week's episode.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Picture this.
Wait.
USBC.
Ricky P, before we get into this segment, I have something to tell the audience.
What?
I've got an update. I know that for you listeners, this just happened. But for us, since we recorded the first 2 segments that you've heard, it's been a week. Okay? And in that week, I have new information about what we've previously discussed. Alright?
Okay.
So, the PS5, we talked about how the prices are crazy, right? It's hard to get one, and if you find one, it's like $1,000 or something. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I've learned why that is. It may not be all Sony's fault. It's part of the chip shortage.
Oh.
That's what I found online right after we recorded. I looked it up and it said that it's largely has to do with the chip shortage. Now, they could have waited. I think it may still have been a marketing thing because Sony could have waited to release the PS5 until chips are back in stock, back in more production. But yeah, that might be a big part of it, to the chip shortage. I mean, that's affecting prices of all kinds of anything that's electronic and has a chip in it. Cars, computers, all kind phones, like so many electronic things are in shorter supply and cost more than they used to because of the chip shortage. Okay, so I just want to clear that up before we get a comment saying that it's the chip shortage, alright? 2, I watched today's episode, not today's, this week's episode of The Kardashians. So I want to do a quick little update because I know I said in the last segment that I hadn't seen it yet because it wasn't out. Well, today, Saturday, I watched the episode that came out on Thursday, and it was kind of anticlimactic. So there's not much to say. They're still getting ready in this episode. They're getting ready for the Met Gala. Travis and Courtney are still getting ready for their wedding. Kim was not fully able to put on the Marilyn dress. She lost some weight. So before she tried it on, she couldn't get it over her butt. But then she lost some weight and she tried it again. She was able to get it up over her hips, but it wouldn't zip over her butt. So her butt is still out. So what she's going to do is what she ended up doing, which was she put on the dress at the venue too, like not even in the hotel because she couldn't sit in the car in it because she has to be very, very careful with it. So she had to get dressed at the venue, which there's going to be more details on next week's episode. And then she would just take some pictures on the red carpet in it. Of course, nothing from behind because the dress does not zip over her bottom. And then change into a replica and take more pictures and do whatever. So that's it. That's it for my update. Let's get into the segment.
Okay. So, anyways, as I was saying, we'll just create a scenario. So, you're sitting at home, either you're watching a YouTube video, watching TV, do whatever. Then, all of a sudden, bam! Fire happens. Whether if it's an electrical fire or what's the other fire?
A grease fire on the stove?
Yeah, grease fire on the stove. Whatever.
Arson?
There's a fire. Yeah, arson. So let's just say like your first case scenario is, well, you got to get out. But I have one question. What would you take with you as you are running out of your burning house? What is something that is most valuable to you that you would take outside your burning house that you don't want to be burned at all?
And can we add to this that we would be excluding like other family members and pets? Let's say they're already out. We're talking about materialistic items.
Yes. So, Mickey, what would you take out?
Well, Ricky, I've thought about this quite a bit. I live in an apartment, a duplex, and I've smelled my neighbors burning food next door, and I've thought, well, if they start a fire in their unit, my place is burning down too, right? We share one building. So I've thought about if they set my home on fire, what I would be thinking about is since I have renter's insurance, my items can be replaced, right? I've got coverage. However,
Yes.
there's certain things that insurance cannot replace, right?
Yeah,
There's
alright.
things that cannot be replaced or cannot be replaced easily, like just with a check. And what is that? You know what it is? There's one thing that just cannot be bought. You know what
You
that
mean
is, Ricky?
well, uh, family photos?
No. Well, yeah, but more general. I'm talking about information.
Oh. Okay.
Information cannot be bought, right?
Yeah.
So, like, insurance can buy me a new MacBook, but it can't buy the files I have saved on it. It can't buy my homework back or my job work or any files I have saved that can't be bought. So my laptop would be something that I'd want to bring, even though I really should be using online storage. I just don't want to pay for it, okay? I don't want to pay for it. So I've got stuff
Really?
saved on my laptop, and I would
Wait,
want to
wait,
make sure I
you.
take that.
Wait, whoa. Hold on a second. You never bought online storage?
No, I ain't paying for iCloud or whatever.
Might as well.
No, it's not worth it to me. I already paid so much for this laptop. I'm gonna save my files on it.
Well, you do
What
you.
what else can't be saved in my home? See, I've got family photos up, but they're all saved on my phone. So I don't need the photos. I need to make sure I have my phone, and then I have all the photos and I can have them reprinted. So my phone
Yes.
would be something very important to me. Insurance can buy me a new PS4, but they can't get my Call of Duty kills back. I've got a really good KD. I would try to like unplug all the cords. Like I wouldn't like unhook everything. I would just rip all the cords out of the back of my PlayStation and just take the machine with me, because the cords and the controller can be replaced, but the hard drive is what I need. So I would just try to grab my PlayStation out of the wall as quickly as I can. And if I can, I would probably also try to take my purse, because getting a new license and new credit cards and all that stuff can be very difficult and annoying. And I guess my keys, because if I lose, I've only got one car key. So I'd have to have that replaced if I lose it. I think that's 5 things. Um, so my keys, my purse, my phone, my laptop, and my PlayStation would be what I would try to take. And those also happen to be the most expensive things I have. I don't have any real jewelry or anything. So the most valuable things that I have would be those things, and that's what means the most and what's going to be the most difficult to replace. So those are the 5 things. Ricky, what 5 things would you take if your house was on fire?
Well, I do live in the house. I guess the first thing I would take were, well, of course, my phone. And the second thing is my consoles, both of them. I have a Wii U and a Switch. And
Leave
like
the
you actually
Wii U
said, oh,
behind.
okay, look, it can be replaced. So like the data I have on it can't be replaced. Like you said,
Forget the
and
Wii
I
U
really care about
though.
it.
You sacrifice your life for your Wii U.
Why not? What's wrong with it? It's not that bad.
All right, what else? That's already three things.
And also family photos. But it's not the family photos that Mickey is talking about. It's photos from irreplaceable, really irreplaceable ones. So way back in the day.
Oh yeah,
Like
ones before
early
smartphones.
2000s.
Before smartphones, so they're not saved on anything.
Nah, those are very irreplaceable. I would actually rather keep those. And also, I do have a picture of Mickey and I on my desk right now, which was taken 10 years ago. That I don't think was actually saved
10 years
on a phone
ago.
at all.
It
Yeah,
was mo- it was more than that. I was not 13 in that picture. How old are we in the picture?
I think because I checked on the date. Because I checked it said like 2012 on it.
It did?
Yeah, I have it framed.
I
A
don't
very
I don't
old rusty
remember
frame.
this picture at all.
Yeah, we took it at a park. It was
Oh yeah.
yeah that it was
I
that park.
I guess that's irreplaceable. Yeah, that wouldn't be saved on anything. I mean, I think we took that on a phone, but it was one of those old phones that is gone. It wasn't
I,
like an iPhone.
uh, I don't think it was. I think it was taken on an actual camera because it's a physical photo.
Oh.
I mean, was it at was it at the time where you can really see that like you could do now, like take pictures on your phone and then actually have it printed out?
Yeah, people didn't really do that back then.
No,
Because
no. Yeah,
picture
this was taken
phone
on an actual
phone
camera.
phone cameras weren't good.
No.
Okay, so now you've got your phone, two
Yes.
gaming consoles,
Yeah.
whatever family photos you can grab. What's the last thing?
Uh, I want to say any uh important documents like not my laptop. The laptop, it's not like a MacBook. It's just a Chromebook. I could just easily insurance could cover that. Any files I have in there is automatically onto like Google Drive anyways. And everything
Okay.
I'm actually using, like, this microphone software, or even like it's like connected to my Google account. So I'll just re-sign in and then have everything back up. But what I can't replace are the important documents that are in my safe or my social security card
Oh yeah, I didn't even think of
and
that.
my birth certificate.
I didn't think of that.
Yeah, those are very official. I would take those with me.
I mean, they can be replaced. You can have a new you can have your birth certificate and social security card reissued. It's just it would be a process and a lot of
Yeah,
paperwork.
yeah, it would.
So, yeah, that makes sense. I didn't even think of that. I would want to take those things, but the thing is, that wouldn't be as big. I guess that wouldn't be as big of a deal to me because how often do you use your birth certificate or social security card? Those aren't things you use on a daily or weekly, even monthly basis.
Yeah,
So, I guess that wouldn't be as big of a deal like having my driver's license. I need that on my person every time I drive my car. So that's why to me, making sure I have my wallet would be more important than making sure I have my birth certificate. That thought would never have even crossed my mind. Like, because we also have to think, in a fire, we would be panicking, we would be frantic, and we probably wouldn't be thinking completely clearly either. So I would be thinking, like, what's the easiest to access as well. My laptop is usually in my living room with me. So is my phone and my purse and my keys. So those are things that I can grab really quickly on the way out of the door. Versus like important documents or, like harder to get to, I'd have to dig through stuff, go through stuff. I probably wouldn't have time to make it out alive.
Yes.
Where I get to those things. And but yeah, I think that's good stuff. I don't know how many physical photos are so hard to take because they're heavy.
Yeah, if you have a lot.
If you have a lot, they're heavy.
Yes. Yeah, we have a lot of like photo albums. Those are going to be really heavy.
Y'all should really organize those. Like, put them into albums. So there's not so many, like, loose pictures.
Wait, yeah, they're already...
Not all of them. Not all of them.
Wait, yeah. I mean, not all of them.
You should really convert them to digital and save them to the cloud. Then they couldn't be lost.
Yeah, but then you're going to have to actually upgrade because there's going to be a lot of photos.
That's the other thing. Yeah. But, yeah, I think that does it for this segment. How about you listeners out there? Let us know, what is the most important items to you? Materialistic items. What do you think would be the best course of action if your home was on fire and maybe the fire's not that bad yet, you need to get out, but you might have a minute to grab what you can. 3 or 5 things that you can grab with your 2 hands on the way out, running out of your house. Let us know what those would be.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Take It With a Grain of Sand. Hope to see you again soon. And always remember to take it
with a grain of sand.
Yeah, what she said.